Well, good morning, everyone. Let's take our Bibles to Second John. It's Sunday morning recap time. And let me just say this. We had a wonderful time in the house of God yesterday at the Journey Baptist Church. We enjoyed not only studies and singing and prayer together as a church family, but we also got to celebrate some victories together that were accomplished because of the faithfulness of our volunteers. There are a lot of people that go to church, and oftentimes just their presence is such an incredible encouragement to others. But then there's those that are serving the Lord and making those things happen. That blesses a pastor's heart, and it's so exciting to be in a church family where the ministry matters enough to not only be present, but to be involved. And so thank you to all of you who make it possible, either by your giving, by your prayers, or by your faithful work that you are doing in each of these ministries. Yesterday, we were looking in Second John. We're going to study in Second John, and we concentrated on verses 4 through 6, mostly 4 and 5, as we transition from last week being guardians of truth to this week where we're learning to walk in love. And I got to tell you, love is the most important filter that we could ever put on our lives or run our lives through. And John is really giving us some amazing help when it comes to living out the life God has for us. He began, like I said, with the need to guard the truth from being altered by a society that is growing more hostile to biblical truth. I don't know if you've realized that, but really our world does not like the Bible. It doesn't like biblical truth. It doesn't like those things. And listen, inside the church, we should be embracing the truth, not trying to adjust it so that we can get more of this world, but embracing it so our world can see there is a beautiful alternative to the destructive ways that leave them without hope and hurting when they employ the world's ways. John reveals to us that the best way to walk in truth is to learn how to walk in love. It has been a way of balancing our resources with the same love that Jesus has given to us. And I think that that's one of the most important things that people can realize, that when we learn to walk in love, our lives go from I guess, me-centric to others-centric when we do that. Listen, anything, Paul tells us that to owe really no one anything but love. To consider yourself having the responsibility to give them that. I mean, you might be saying, well, a lot of people in my life don't deserve that. Well, neither did we, and that's the point. John wrote in 1 John that if we cannot find it in us to love one another, God's love isn't in us, because God is love, and his love should change us. We are to love others with the love that Christ loved us with. And that's the love that caused him to go to the cross and die there, making payment for our sins. It's the love that inspired him to come back to life and to be able to be in heaven with him because of it. Listen, he conquered death. We're no longer bound. This is the greatest act of love that could ever be given to a people. In fact, let me read the verses to you before I get too far in. I almost forgot. Verse number 4, it says, I rejoice greatly that I found of thy children walking in truth, as we have received a commandment from the Father. And so John initially says, hey, listen, I get great joy when I find out that people are still embracing and living out the truth. And so he goes on in verse number 5 to kind of frame what he means by that. He says, and now I beseech thee, lady, not as though I write a new commandment unto thee, but that which we had from the beginning, that we should love one another. And so he's basically telling her that the church family should actually be a loving place. When people walk in from the outside, they should see us loving each other as Christ loved us. They should see us forgiving one another, giving each other space, allowing people to be human. All of that stuff is supposed to be coming to the surface where people can actually see us embracing the love of God in a way that changes our lives and actually gives grace and mercy to those that are around us. Well, what better place for people to actually see this stuff working than within the family of God? And I'm afraid that most of the time what they see is us behaving just like the world. And what they need to see is that God's loving process and plan works. Why do you think so many people have such an antagonistic spirit when they hear that we walk in biblical truth? Because what they've experienced from others is not walking in biblical truth, but saying they do. And then their bitter or loveless response to people hurts them. What they need to see is the kind of love that Christ has for us, flowing through us to others. And so listen, his love for us has covered a multitude of sin. And he has asked us to love in a way that would help people into a right relationship with him, covering their sin with his love demonstrated on the cross. So let's be known for being a loving people that walk in love, because walking in love is what really just covers those sins that they have. And we need to be that example for them. So let's love one another as Christ loved us. Have a great day.